Good afternoon, Spartans. Welcome back to another tutorial. We are in video number six, and today what we're going to be doing is adding the additional pages that we will link to from our index page. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add the new site that you have to do every single time you log in, and I'm just going to call it website. Doesn't really matter what you call it. What matters is where you save it. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find my dconti EPS layout. Okay, then I'm going to select that, hit next, hit this folder, click select again, next, done, and done. Alright, there we are. I'm going to open up my index page, and here it is. So I'm going to take this logo and replace it with another one. And the way I do that is I got to go back into my assets, back into my layout template in Photoshop, open it up in Photoshop, and redesign a new logo. Now this should be very easy to do, and it's easy because we've made a smart object. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to remove these additional slices, and I'll just hit delete. The way I selected all of those was holding Control and the Shift button key rather at the same time. So I selected all of those and then I hit delete. Okay, but now going into my layers here, I'm going to go into my, I'm going to close the navigation folder here, and I'm going to go into my design, and I'm just going to rename that home logo. Okay, it's always good to name your layers properly so you can find them later. It all makes sense when you have the proper name. Now I'm going to double click my smart object, and it'll bring me into actually I'm going to cancel that. I did that incorrectly. Let me close that up. I'm actually going to go to a new smart object via copy. I apologize for that if that messed you up. I'm going to call this Photoshop. Okay, now I'm going to double click this smart object, and I will then change the word design. I'll make this portfolio. Okay, maybe make it a little bit smaller so it squeezes in between those design elements, and then instead of my name I'll put in Photoshop, and let me do all caps. There we go. Just keep the design consistent, make it a little bit smaller so it fits, and then maybe move that over a touch. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to save that, and what I need to do is take visibility off that home logo, right, so that they don't both appear at the same time. There it is. Now I'm going to take my slice tool, and I only need to slice the logo. Okay, again, you're going to see these auto slices, the 2 and the 3. You might have more than that. All you want though is one blue one, and that's the one that's around the logo itself. I'm going to double click that and call that logo Photoshop. Okay, alright, I'm going to make sure that height is 100, 00 X and Y values, 300 width, click OK. I'm going to go to File, Save for Web and Devices. Now this one is selected, only this one. That's perfect. I'm going to save it, and I have to find my correct folder. As you know, I have a bunch of different examples depending on my class. I'm going to ignore this file name down here. Those auto slices will save, and I'm just going to delete those later. I already named my slice, so I'm just going to simply click Save. Alright, I'm going to save my layout. I'm going to just minimize that window because I will be coming back into it. Okay, Now, I'm just going to check to see what I got here. So in my images folder here, let's see, I'm in the right place, I believe. Cancel that, I just accidentally did something wrong there. All right, let's see. Yes, there it is, perfect. Logo Photoshop. Now, it did create those two layout images, so I can simply highlight those and delete them because I don't need them. All right, now, first thing I want to do is go to File, Save As, and just simply type in Photoshop. Not typing very well. Photoshop, and this is going to be the new HTML page. Okay, make sure I'm in the right folder. I am. Okay, I'm going to click Save. There it is. You can also see it right here alongside the index HTML. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is go into my code view, and I'm going to change something. Okay. I don't need a div ID logo. I need to change that to something else. So I'm going to keep this div because that div is important. Okay. But I need to call it a different ID. So I'm going to call this logo PS. PS is short for Photoshop. If you prefer a different name, that's fine. But you might want to just stick with what I'm using. I'm going to refresh it. And then I need to add a new CSS rule. And of course, that new CSS rule is going to have the name hashtag, right? That's means that I'm using an ID selector type. So it's got to be logo PS. Okay. And then you're going to click OK. All right. And now go back to your background and browse for that new logo. And mine's called Logo Photoshop right there. Notice the 300 by 100. Okay. Choose No Repeat, Apply, then go into the box and set that width and height the same as the home logo size. And we're going to just float that to the left. I'm going to apply that and click OK. All right. I'm going to save all. And now I'm going to preview this in Firefox, and let's have a look at how this appears. And I'm just waiting for Firefox to open. Let's try that again. All right. I'm going to pause the video. I don't have to pause the video. It's right here. In fact, I got two of them. Okay. Looks good. And so then all I need to do, let me close one of those Firefox windows. Okay, very good. So all I would need to do then is link this. So I'm going to go back into my design. Okay. And I'm going to also open up my index. See, right now I have Photoshop and Style CSS. In fact, I'm going to close the Style CSS because our CSS window is right here. You can find all those rules to the right, so I don't really need that CSS open. I'm going to double click the index so that I have both index and Photoshop open, right? Okay. Now I'm going to go into I'll start with the Photoshop one, and I'm going to click on the home button because what I want to do is I want to link my Photoshop page to the home page. So I'm going to come down here where it says link in the properties panel, and I'm going to drag that to the index page because remember the home button is the index. Okay. Now I'm going to go to the index page, and this time I'm going to choose Photoshop, and I'm going to drag this one to the Photoshop HTML. Okay. I'm going to save all, and let's see if this works. So I'm going to refresh it and then home and Photoshop. Now the only problem is my layout changes size, which that doesn't make me happy. But I will bring up one that actually worked better, and that was during third period. So let me see, go into Dreamweaver here. And I'll go to my third period folder. I'll go into my index. I'll just double click my index. And of course Explorer is going to come up, which I prefer Firefox, but we'll go ahead and check this out. Let's see, do I have to pause the video? Let me pause the video and I'll be right back. Alright, so here's a better look. I don't know what happened to that other layout. The design must have shifted or something. In any case, let me go here, Home, Photoshop, and I think I did a better job of redesigning that logo. I wasn't under the time constraints, so I took a little bit more time with the logo, but that looks pretty good. Now, I'm going to go ahead and close that. What you're going to want to do, and I can do this rather quickly. Let's see, I got a couple more minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go back in here into Photoshop, and I'm going to just do another one. I'm going to do New. Let's see, come on. Okay, we've got some little sluggishness here. I'm going to have to pause the video. All right, so what I did was I right-clicked and I chose New Smart Object via Copy. And so I got that Photoshop copy. I'm just going to rename this Flash. All right, and then I'm going to turn visibility off this Flash, rather the Photoshop one below, so I don't confuse myself. So I'm going to double-click the Smart Object, click OK, and I'm just going to change out the word Photoshop. I might change the color also. Alright, still waiting for it to open up. I've got some serious memory, computer memory issues here. Alright, finally. So let me double click this and, whoa, it's really slow. Portfolio, I want that. Okay, here we go. Flash. You get all caps. Flash. Okay, I'll go ahead and change the color. This way it'll show up a little bit better than last time. Okay, I'm going to save this. Okay, it looks like I'm on a roll. Oh, maybe not. Come on. Okay, close it. There it is. Now it's already sliced for me, so I'm just going to take this and call this logo Flash. And all caps? No, I don't want all caps. So let me turn that off. Okay, there we go. Check the X and Y, the width and height. Looks good. Now I'm going to go to Save for Web and Devices. And, ooh, I'm really pressed for time here. Okay, come on now. Alright, save. And, looks good up there. Save again. Okay. File, save the entire Photoshop. Now I'm going to go back. And I'm just going to go ahead and do File, Save As. And this time I'll call this Flash. Right? Save it. There's Flash. And there's Flash down there. I'm going to go back into the code. And now all I'm going to do is type in logo. Go up to that div. And I'll just call this logo Flash. I'll refresh and do a new CSS rule, and I'll get rid of these other selectors here, and right there, that's what I want. Click OK and search for that background image that I called logo Flash. Sorry for the bell, I couldn't pause the video in time. I'll do no repeat. I will apply, then I'll go to the box and type in those same numbers. 100 for the height, 300 for the width, float it to the left, apply, and OK. And I'm going to save all. Oh my, come on. I'm trying to get all of this in at the same time. And there it is. Okay, the last thing I would do is link that up and save all. Okay, Photoshop, goes to the Flash page, link that up. Okay, now I didn't link everything up because I'm pressed for time, so let's just refresh and see how that looks. Okay, yep, there it is. links from the Photoshop page, but I didn't do the